Hey guys, welcome back to the Kampai Sugai podcast. Thank you for joining us today. Guys, it's good to be back. Good to be here. It's a beautiful day. Actually, we're doing this at night, but it's a beautiful night. I got a really good special guest, someone who I greatly respect, someone who I actually been wanting to have on the podcast. Just couldn't figure it out, but like schedule-wise, like now things have been really consistent for me, so I can really get you on the show, and then we're gonna talk story together. So please give a round of applause for podcaster for the Above Bridge podcast. Above the Bridge podcast. And then owner and event club promoter for Artist Groove Network, Mr. Thaddeus Park.
Right on, bro. Thank you for having me on, and the feeling's mutual, bro. I look up to you, and I definitely respect what you've been doing, and it's an honor to be on your show, man. I wanted to invite you on my show, but I kind of wanted to do your thing first. So so after that, you'll come on mine, but I wanted to show my respect and come on your show before anything. So I'm honored to be here, bro. It's cool.
Well, I'm honored for you to be on the show today, and then like this is good because like for your podcast, you do it very visual, or not visual, but like you do it through online networks. Zoom, I guess.
Yeah.
So this is different environment because you're doing it in person.
Yeah, I like it. It's cool, and I'm hoping I've done 1 or 2 episodes in person, but I'm hoping to do more in the future. So I'm definitely learning like from you, and yeah, I like this kind of vibe better. Like in person is more personable, I guess.
Yeah. So how did you get started with your podcast? And before we do that, you want to take a shot?
Yeah, let's take a shot.
Kampai.
Right on. Oh,
Cool.
that's good.
I'll be honest, it tastes like shoyu a little bit.
Little bit, huh? Kikuman flavor.
Yeah, kikuman.
All
Not
right.
the low, yeah. But anyway, how'd you get started on your podcast?
So for me, I'm a fan of podcasts. I listen to Joe Rogan, and I think the one I listen to the most would be probably Fighter and the Kid. I'm not sure if you heard. So it's old fighter and a comedian formed a team, and they
Brendan Schaub and
Brian Callen.
Brian Callen.
And I've been a fan of that for a while, and I always thought I could do it, and I always like, that'd be something cool to do, and something I could enjoy and see what happens. But with the pandemic, it kind of stopped everything. I worked at one of the nightclubs and doing nightclub promotions and stuff, and that kind of got frozen. At the time, I was taking care of my mom. She had ALS. So I was thinking about, and I talked about doing it for a lot of years, but it was all talk. It was just kind of like hopeful, wishful thinking. Is something I say I was gonna do, but never did. And then I needed a distraction. I was kind of stressed out, taking care of my mom and dealing with what she was going through, and then not being able to work, doing my promotions, and it got me thinking. And what kind of pushed me over to make that decision to really do it was one of my best friends. He's a DJ Hopper Boy. He's my business partner. He was on somebody else's podcast, and at the end of the episode he was on, he kind of called me out. He said to the guy that was running the podcast he was on, he's like, I think it's cool that you're actually doing a podcast because I know someone who's been talking about it for years, and I'm still waiting. And I kept that clip. He called me out, and I have that audio of him saying, and I'm still waiting. And I was working at the cancer center. That's my real job. And I was listening to it, and I just stopped what I was doing, and I said, okay, this is the moment now where I gotta actually stop the talk and put the actions behind the words. And from then on, I kind of started taking the steps to making it happen. And then I dropped my first episode, and then it just kind of started from there. But and it's kind of, as you probably understand, you got to figure it out as you go on and change stuff up. I had a producer at the time, and then it was fun. It's been fun.
Yeah. So how was your first episode, like getting into it? Like, did you have to kind of like ease your way into it, or did it come out like pretty natural?
To be honest, I was nervous as hell. I didn't think I would be. And I had DJ Hopper Boy on as my first guest. And bro, I listened to it a while ago, and I realized how much it's changed, but I was nervous. I felt a little bit in over my head, and yeah, it was weird, but I knew consistency was what's gonna keep it going and kind of find my groove. And I'm still figuring it out, and I still tweak things. And yeah, the first episode, I had no clue what I was doing. I had no idea what to do, and I
what
just
to talk about.
Yeah, it was just like I had a few key points written down, and then it just went. I listened to it now. Even my daughter was like, "Daddy, you got so much better from your first episodes and stuff." And I was like, "Okay, yeah."
Hey,
So,
that's good. You got the approval stamp from your
yeah,
daughter.
yeah. But like with anything, you do improve, and there's a lot of things I still gotta fix. I mean, there's people who hit me up with, "Hey, you gotta stop saying or you gotta stop saying or like, oh, okay, like I'll take constructive criticism, and like I'm not really someone that's used to being in front of the camera. I mean, with my club stuff, I'll do videos here and there, but I'm never the one to take charge and be part of the situation. Yeah. And so it's been different, and it doesn't help that I sound like a cakey on the mic too. Hear my voice is like, whoa, okay, I sound pretty young.
Nah, I didn't think that actually.
Okay, that's good then. Yup, still waiting for puberty to kick in.
So many years later.
But yeah, it's been fun, and it's been the thing about it for me is I get a lot of one-on-one conversations with people that I know and people that I'm just meeting, like some guests that I never met before, and it's cool. And what I always say that makes me kind of happy about doing the podcast is, I mean, not anytime soon, but when I'm gone, my daughter will have all these clips and could listen to all these stories if she ever wants to forever. And it's kind of something that she'll get to know her dad as a person, not as a father figure, from the stories and the conversations I have with other people. And for me, that's more than a great reason to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's amazing. That even shows like when she gets married one day.
Yeah.
You know, whenever that happens.
Yeah, not anytime soon, bro.
His blood is boiling right now. Thinking about who she's gonna be with.
I know it.
You're gonna drop kick him, huh?
Yeah, she already knows she cannot date till she's 30. So she's almost halfway there.
But I mean, that's pretty cool because like if she has children one day,
right,
then she can show her children, like, hey, this is your grandpa, Grandpa Thad.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty crazy. I never thought about that because that's even like for me too. Like, you know, like later down the line, like people can still view stuff like this as long as like YouTube and Spotify, and Apple Podcasts and stuff like they continue on. But that's pretty amazing, you know, because like you were saying, like those videos, they stay consistent. They're gonna be there forever.
Yeah.
Throughout the lifetime.
And I have her on I every Christmas. So I've been doing it almost 3 years. Well, at least 3 Christmases went by, and I do a Christmas episode with my daughter. And I want to keep that consistent. Like every year at Christmas time, I want to do an episode with her, and that way my fans or the people that follow the show can also watch my daughter grow up every year. So I thought that was cool, and I could already see the difference in her from the first episode 3 years later to the one we just did this last December, and it's kind of cool to see. Hopefully she's still game to do it when she gets older. You know what I mean?
When she's 30. Yeah. She gonna bring her date on the show.
That's probably the only way she'll get away with it.
So how was it like bringing her on the show for like the first time?
The first time she was ecstatic. Like she was excited because I do let her in the room with me when I record, and I always think it's cool that she can see daddy doing something that he's passionate about. and she always wanted to be a guest.
Mm.
And then it was cool. So she got excited the first time, and she didn't seem too nervous, and she was kind of personable. And the second one, like the same, and then this last one we did it. So the first two she recorded from her room, and I was in my little area, and then this time I got it to where we're both in the same room, and we did a few different things. Noms is one of our sponsor, Hawaii Candy Factory. So
shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to them. And they gave us a care package for Christmas, and we had her open it up. And it was cool. So it was a fun episode. She likes it, and she likes when people notice her, like, oh, you're on your dad's podcast or something like that. Yeah, she kind of likes that too.
She's like, oh yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
I also play volleyball too.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool because every year people are gonna see her. They're gonna grow up. She's gonna grow up with the show.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So
and I think too, like even those episodes, she can look back and see actual conversations of us having together. So I always think hopefully that's my plan. Hopefully she sees it the same way.
Yeah. We'll see down the road because at any point she could be like, no, I'm okay, Dad. You know, I'll bail out.
Or it's not cool to come on my show anymore.
How long do you think you would do the show?
I don't know. I mean, it's work, I'm sure you know, and it becomes something where it's like it takes a lot of your time, and
it's a part of you.
Yeah. But I'm proud of it, and I enjoy it. I really enjoy these conversations I'm having, and at the most work that I have to do for the show is, in my opinion, worth it. So I don't know. Who knows? I could get over it one day and want to stop, but if not, I'll keep running it until I get bored with it. Or it's been fun. I get a lot of good feedback. A lot of people that live outside of Hawaii that are from Hawaii kind of follow it, and I think it's to be able for them to reconnect with people talking local or seeing local people converse, and it gives them a sense of being back in Hawaii. So a lot like people in Vegas and LA and Seattle. There's a lot of locals all in those areas.
Florida, too.
And I get the local people too, but it's been fun. So I'm not too sure when I would be done with it. I
know for me, I just see like a lot of podcasters, like a lot of them, they have that longevity because they can do it for such a long time. Like I think like Jay Leno could probably do something like a show for a very long time, because even though he's been in the entertainment industry for years, and something like this it's very sustainable, because versus like a Jimmy Fallon show, like you have to put on a production every night, get the crew ready and everything. But something like this you can control the space, you can control how big the team is, or you can control like your environment, who you have on the show, and how long you talk to them. So it's pretty cool. Like for me, I got into podcasting from being injured, right?
Oh, okay.
So I broke my leg in 3 different places. A lot of people know this already. And this is the Anderson Silva break. It looked like that.
Major then.
Major, yeah. So I fell off a shipping truck, landed on my right leg, and it completely like folded in.
Oh man.
It was like origami at that point. Right? And it was pretty bad, but I wasn't too sore. It was funny. I guess my adrenaline was pumping. I wasn't too sore. It felt like a sprain.
Oh wow.
And then like I remember, this is the thing, like for any like sprain or anything, I always remember if I can wiggle my toes, because I think about Kill Bill Volume 2.
Oh yeah. Wiggle my toes. Yeah.
I gotta wiggle my toes, and I'm good to go, right?
Yeah.
So I wiggled my big toe, and I said, okay, I think I'll be fine. But if I couldn't do that, I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna get screwed.
Okay.
But because I wiggled my big toe, I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna be fine, no matter like how bad it is. And I looked at it and I was like, okay, it's pretty bad, but I'll get through it, and I'll just recover. And and then from there, I got into to podcasting because like, yeah, I really want to promote, like my friends who, they're doing films, they're directors now.
Oh
Some
wow.
of them, um, they're DJs or producing music. Actually, he's a photographer, which is pretty crazy because he started photography a lot later. Shout outs to Jordan Jenkins,
Oh nice.
but he's really good at it. But a lot of them they started. They had these like really passion projects, but they had like regular like jobs, like us. I'm an accountant. You work at the cancer center.
Yeah.
That's our regular jobs. But then of course they had these passion projects where they wanted to expand on being entertainers or really show their art, right? So
Yeah.
like us.
Yeah.
So I wanted to really highlight that, and you see like the news channels and stuff like that. They're so focused on um like 5-10 minutes. There's such a they have like such a small amount of time they can really showcase certain people.
Yeah.
So I was like, something like a podcast, like you can extend that for 40 minutes, hour, you
Yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
2 hours, so that was my whole thing, but I didn't know how to do it until I got injured, and I had to get injured in order for this podcast to happen.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you needed that same kind of situation to
Mhm.
to make you take your dream of doing it and then crossing the line to actually okay,
Yeah.
now it's time to do it. This is my opportunity.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I didn't know anything about podcasting until I got injured.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
you're forced to figure it out. Like
Yeah.
I had a producer, but I built my own website. I figured out how to get it on all the platforms.
Mhm.
I had a little bit of help. Oh, Skylar Craw from the Madhouse podcast.
Mhm.
Cause I reached out to a bunch of different local podcasts. Like, hey, I'm thinking about creating mine. I just want to kind of get some ideas from you. And brah, you'd be surprised. I got no response or ghosted by a bunch of them.
Oh.
And then Skylar, who had Hoppa on his podcast, that was the one who's
Uh-huh. Yeah.
he's the one that actually hit me back and said, "Oh, if you use Buzzsprout, it'll go to all the
Yep.
yeah." And then he told me about
what I
the,
use.
yeah. So once I got steered in the right direction, I knew where to look and how to develop it. And then shout out to my old producer. For the first 2 years, I had a producer, Boy Band John, and he works for Olelo, and he helped me do the editing and the video and all that stuff. So I had a good start, and it ran through, and then he got promoted, and his time was kind of cut, so he couldn't help me.
The
Which
season is different now.
yeah, so which forced me to kind of learn how to do Final Cut Pro and edit my own stuff, which is now a skill that I have and I'm learning more about. DJ Hoppa is a video editor. His dad is Tiny Tadani, so he edited Tiny's show for the whole Tiny TV.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't know that.
yeah. So he edited Tiny TV, so he's very versed in video editing, and he does stuff now. And he give me tips or send me a YouTube link, and whenever I have a question, I just ask him. And yeah, it's been cool to learn something new. And for me, learning new stuff is always fun. But it was just like I said, I had to stop talking and actually do it. And it happened. The pandemic kind of caused it, and just like your leg getting broken, it caused you to like, okay, I have time and I'll figure it out. And now your show is blowing up, and yeah, it becomes an opportunity that you took and you kind of ran with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, and I'm proud of like what you've developed as well, because you had to learn, like you said, you had to learn different skills.
Yeah.
And then now like you can expand those skills to being like, if someone else needed like video editing,
Yeah.
then you're like, oh yeah, I know what to do. You know what I mean? They can pass that knowledge on. And I'm the same way too, like with podcasting too. It's like paying it forward. Like
100%.
there's actually a lot of people that DM about like podcasting tips and stuff like that. I'm super open about like equipment, sharing like what I knew, what didn't work, what worked. And like when I was first doing like video podcasting, it was I wanted to get something budget, so under $300 to show people.
Oh,
Like
okay.
you can do a pretty good show, like traveling around, and then
Yeah.
under $300. And a lot of that stuff I still have, but of course we upgraded
Yeah.
because of course this is like, oh, this is what I really was working to, but like to show people like, hey, I knew the hard way. Now this is the way I do it now, but you can still do the hard way if you want
Yeah.
to.
And I'm the same. I felt because I asked a lot of people and kind of people ghosted me or wasn't. I told myself if anybody asked me, I'm gonna be an open book. I'll help them I'll come to their house and show them what I did, and I'm gonna help people because I know how it felt to not be helped. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll do it opposite. Like I always have a saying, a rising tide floats all boats. So if local podcasters start to build and get popular, it's only gonna help the community, and maybe it'll be something that like say you get discovered more from other people because of other local podcasters making it a big platform. So it's always, I don't feel like there's competition. I always feel like it's a community that can rise together. And like you probably know, there's a podcast for everything. You could Google crocheting podcast. They'll have something, or cat lovers podcast. So it's cool. And for me, I always explain the concept behind mine was growing up in Kaneohe, right by my house, there's this bridge. It's a walk bridge, and it links my neighborhood to Kapunahala, if you know where Kapunahala is. And I grew up there. We used to fish off the bridge, play, throw rocks, or like we just play in that area. Until this day, like I'll go with my friends and have a beer there and talk story. Or if some of us are stressing out, we go to the bridge and just kind of talk things out. And it's been a fun place for me. So the same organic conversations I have with my friends on the bridge, I kind of wanted to take that and bring that to my podcast versus like a Q&A sit down interview. I didn't want that. I wanted it to be more organic conversation. And that's why I named it Above the Bridge. And that's where the theme is kind of based on the kind of organic conversation I have with my friends. I want to have that with my guests. That makes sense.
Yeah, bringing that same vibe, those memories, and that the reason why you guys met at the bridge, and bringing that to your podcast. That's amazing. That's like people like when they go like, "Hey up here."
Yeah, exactly. We do that too, bro.
Someone's gonna start a "Hey up here" podcast.
Might be worth it, bro. There's some crazy stuff go down there.
They might do the podcast at "Hey up here." So.
That'd be cool. See all the chronics running around in the background.
Back in the day, I remember like I'd say like 10 years ago, we used to hang out there pretty frequently, right?
Yeah.
And there wasn't too many chronics.
Like,
it was good. Like we drink over there, there'd be like a good like 20 of us.
Yeah.
Just chilling at the pier at must be like 12 a.m. at night. You know what I mean? And it was good. It was good chill. We just jam, and that's.
Yeah.
But then now it definitely like it's unsafe. Like certain areas, especially in Hawaii, you never know these days.
Yeah, it's been weird. There's a lot more chronics running around Kaneohe. But oh well, they don't bother me much. But yeah, I just gotta keep an eye on them.
Yeah, Hawaii has changed a lot. I'd say within the past 5-6 years.
Oh yeah.
Especially with like communities and like how people interact too, because you never know what kind of who you're meeting these days, right? And it's just a different environment, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I feel like nowadays the aloha is kind of like diminishing, and I feel like we owe it to our community to kind of push it through, because it starts in Hawaii, and if aloha is gonna spread, it gotta happen here first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you gotta. I guess like that's the. Like you were saying, it has to happen within us to really spread that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with podcasting, like, like the community, right? Because we're part of a smaller community that's growing. People are like taking notice of like coming back. I mean, there's like some great OGs in podcasting that I still respect. I'm hoping they come back. I'm talking to you, Aaron Sakai, that they were part of that community too, but it's of course like a lot of like podcasters, there's a small community, but not a lot of people know each other.
Yeah.
You know.
But that's cool that because you reached out and then yeah, it's cool. And I'll reach out or I'll see someone else doing their podcast, be like, oh, that's super cool, and like kind of let them know that I'm watching, and it's different because it's something that anybody can do. Like you need, honestly, you just need a laptop if you come down to it. Yeah, and it's just putting yourself out there was probably the biggest thing for me. I'm always part of a team or my company's a group. This was the first time I'm putting myself out there by myself. And to me, that was what was scary. And like, it's still scary. Like, oh, what if people think this? Or it came to a point where it's like, I cannot care what people think. This is something I want to do. I got to do it. And then, yeah, it's that would be what I would tell people that's going to do it is you just gotta try and be confident in yourself and don't be scared to put yourself out there. As I'm sure you know, I mean, it's putting yourself out there for people to criticize is can be rough.
Yeah,
you know what I
it's
mean?
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for myself too. I mean, like, I don't know what people think sometimes, especially when they watch this, because they could be like, man, who's this clown over here? You know what I mean?
And you're gonna get haters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I've been getting a lot of positive stuff, which
Yeah.
is great. It keeps me encouraged to keep doing this too. Especially like when I took my break from August 2020 to December 2021, I had a ton of like positive stuff. Like people were just hitting me up like, hey, when you gonna come back? Or and I kept telling them, hey, just wait a little bit, I'm still building stuff like this, still building this. And honestly, I was just chilling. I was at the beach or something.
Yeah,
you know? I was like, yeah, don't worry, I'll come back soon. But like, you know, it's good to see like people like they notice like the community over here, you know, for podcasting, because it's hard.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
it's not easy.
Yeah, I mean, we're up against like, you know, I'd say like what's like contemporary like reggae music or like Hawaiian music. We're up against like a lot of things that people could listen to other than a podcast.
Yeah.
You know?
And I always think to myself too, like, oh, who really wants to hear me talking? You know what I mean? But so people do, thing. Yeah. And it's like you said, you probably got a lot of input when you stop, because the people that were following you or were fans of your show is like, bro, I missed that. I listened to you at work, and or that episode I resonated with, and I like your content, and then it's gone, and then it becomes like they're missing a friend or like a distant cousin. You don't get to hear from them, and it's like, oh, come back, bro. I like your show. You know what I mean?
That's like celebrities too, like Michael Jackson. Like he wasn't really appreciated until he passed away.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, come on, he's been putting out bangers. You know what I mean? And then now you guys want to bring him back. You know what I mean? So it's like that. You know what I mean? But that's cool. That's cool what you're doing. You know, that's why I greatly respect what you're doing, because it's the same goal like I'm doing. You know, I'm just trying to build a great positive like environment and really try to get businesses out there that when people come here, they're not just here to like go to the luau's, which is great. Yeah, they can go to the luau's, but like, what about these guys? What about Hawaii Candy Factory? You guys gonna notice these guys over here, you know?
Yeah, and it's cool. I get to throw shine at people that would not normally get shine, or businesses that people don't know about, and they're just becoming like a startup or something. So it's like I'll meet people and oh, you're starting this. Come on my show, and we can kind of help promote it and get a story behind the person doing the business. And for me, that's always fun. You know what I mean? And I had some cool guests on, like people that people might not know. And then I got like people that are kind of celebrity. I had Tamua, I had Sam Choi. That was a good one. And then I'll have some guy that's starting up a business, and he just wants some shine, and I help him get a little bit of exposure. And for me, that's even more cool. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because you never know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, especially these guys, like, I mean, like, people, that's how so I'm going to speak on like Instagram, for instance, right? Because like Instagram, you know, it's kind of like, I want to say it's a fake platform because it's very good for promotional and stuff like that. But like in terms of the way people view it, you know,
Yeah.
and the way people view certain people, it is kind of fake because it's
Yeah.
like, wow, this guy got like million followers. You know what I mean? Like there was a rapper the other day. He was getting shot on. And I was like, I've never heard of this guy before at all. You know what I'm saying? But he has like 2 million followers. It's like, oh, that's great. I've never heard of him before.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like, you know, for like a smaller business owner who could have like maybe just a couple hundred followers, they could be doing something really groundbreaking.
Yeah.
But we just don't know it
Yeah.
because people just look at the followers and they go, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. You know what I mean? Or he's just starting off. He has no experience. It's like, no, what if he's been doing it for 20 plus years? You know what I mean?
Exactly. It becomes like your status. Like I had a girl at the club and I met her and she was telling me what she does and she's like, oh yeah, I'm a model on Instagram. I'm like, oh, right on. I'm a running back on Madden. It's like, it's not real. You know what I mean? If Instagram shuts down, then what? Then you don't have a life after that?
Exactly.
Like, that's kind of sad. And I always, social media has its place. But what I do notice in the recent years is it becomes such a prominent part of people's life where that's all they care about, especially the younger generation. I was at Lani Kai a few months ago and there's this group of girls, I guess they're like college or whatever. And we're sitting down having a couple beers and we're just watching them. And they're just taking pictures of each other and showing on the phone, taking a picture, they're showing each other, and then they left. And they're too busy capturing what they were doing on Instagram or whatever social media they were worried about, and showing everybody that follows them that they're at Lani Kai, that they didn't even enjoy Lani Kai. They didn't even enjoy where they were at because they were too busy wanting to show people where they're at. And I see it in the club all the time. They could be, it's not about socializing anymore. It's about showing people that you're in the VIP or you're at bottle service, and the girls are all like taking pictures of holding a bottle, and it's like, bro, you're not even enjoying the moment. And clubs are supposed to be to socialize and meet people, and
Just take pictures of each other.
yeah. And if you can tell, like, I've been in this business for a while, nightclub stuff, and I noticed that all the nightclubs are closed. There's District, and fortunately that's the one I get to promote out on Fridays. But all the nightclubs are closed because what? You don't need to go to the nightclub now to meet people. You can do that on your couch. You can do that on the toilet while you making doo-doo and just, oh, that's a hot chick. I'm married. Yeah, exactly. But it takes away the risk factor. Like, you know how hard it is to go up to a girl at the club and be like, hey, can I buy you a drink? In front of all her friends and risk getting shut down. You get shut down on Instagram, or whatever. I just delete her. Who cares? And then if you meet somebody online or on social media, you don't have to bring them to the club. You're not gonna, you know what I mean? So it becomes, you're taking the social aspect about in-person stuff. And I always tell this story. When I was at a concert in at Republic, it was Third Eye Blind.
Okay.
And we're rocking out, and you watch everybody, and I probably done it too. Like everybody's taking videos of certain songs and all that. And the lead singer stopped the concert, and this resonated with me, and it made me think. The lead singer stopped the concert, and she said, "Okay, stop, everybody, for this song right now, this moment." Put your phones away. I don't want to see one phone. I want to connect with you guys as a crowd. I want you to connect with us as a band and enjoy this one song in the moment together. And I'm like, shit, that used to be life.
Yeah.
Like nobody used to have these phones before, right? And everybody would connect with each other in person. And it was just
do mosh pits.
Yeah,
you know
exactly. And everybody was singing the song, and the vibe would change. And it was because they were actually in the moment with the band instead of trying to video it so they can show their friends, hey, I was at Third Eye Blind and they sang this song, which was cool. I got to do an event in Maui last year, and they still have that same mentality.
Wow.
We're in a club, shout out to Sava. He brought artist Groove Me and Hoppa down to promote one of his events, and I was blown away because all the Maui people didn't have their phones out. They were dancing and talking to each other. They weren't trying to be the cool person in VIP. They wanted to dance and talk and have fun. And I was like, "Whoa, this is cool. This is what it used to be in Oahu." Yeah, it was pretty cool, and I like that vibe. Yeah.
That's like same thing. Like I remember I went to like Sandy's one day, and there was like these group of people that was just, the waves were bumping that day. It must have been like 3 to 4, you know what I mean? And they were just taking pictures of each other, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" Like,
get in the water.
Get slammed in the water. But then they left. You know what I mean? It was guys too.
Oh man, that's the worst.
That's even worse because I was like, they're just holding their boards, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?"
Hey, it looks cool on the gram. You sitting with your fins and your boards, like, about to go in, and then you dig out, like, oh.
They probably sprinkle some water on top. Oh, just got out of the water. Like, what the fuck is this? So I was like, and like seeing that, it's the same thing. Like the society today is everybody just gonna fucking take their phone out. And they like, I mean, I get it for like some food. Like some people, that's their thing. They just take pictures of their food. Don't take like fucking.
Oh, that can get irritating too, bro. Especially if you're hungry.
Yeah. I'm just like, I like eat that burger.
Exactly.
I'm just good with one picture. That's it. I'm good to go. Like sometimes I'll do that. I'll take pictures of my food and stuff like that, but super quick. Like I'm not gonna take like 30 minutes try to
different angles.
Give me one ring light and put the ring light around. I'm like, fuck that, man.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like that's like society today. They're trying to connect with this whole show rather than experience.
Exactly. I agree.
And it sucks because like you were saying, it wasn't used to it wasn't like that before.
Yeah.
I remember going to I don't know if people know this, but which was I call that Asian club. Whenever I went there, it was mostly Asians.
Restaurant, no, Ward Warehouse. Yeah.
And I remember like going there. I didn't have like a phone with a camera on. And I would just be downing like 151 shots.
Oh, he's going hard
right
then.
Before we get in the club.
It's cheaper, huh?
Yeah. I remember I did like six of those shots.
Oh, so you're lit then.
I was good. I was walking all good, but the thing is like to socialize and stuff like that. It was harder back then. You know what I mean? And I didn't have like a wingman or anything. I just had to just go out there, just whatever, just me. So I'm like, give me those shots. I'll down them right now.
Yeah.
And then my friend had the Sprite. He had the chaser out. He had the 151 with the Sprite.
Bro, that's brutal.
And
glad we're not doing those shots.
We're not doing that. No, we cannot. Not anymore. I can't do that anymore. But those were the days. And those stuck in my mind because it's like, man, those were good memories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like I didn't do anything stupid at least for that night.
And there's no proof of it either.
There's no proof of it. But it's like you can't recreate that.
Yeah.
But in like Instagram and stuff like now, that's why I was saying it's kind of fake because it's like people try to recreate that same moment. They're trying to catch lightning in the bottle and hope their post gets fucking
viral and get recognized. And I'm sure we're all like, who doesn't want to have a bunch of followers? Who doesn't want to be popular on Instagram? But when it consumes you and where it becomes that important, where that's all that matters, that's where it's kind of weird. Like I'm at the gym and I see people taking videos and I was like, bro, if you actually worked out, you would have something to take a picture of instead of like, bruh, it's kind of nuts. Or you could be at the park and seeing girls making TikTok dances or whatever. It's just a weird time, man.
Yeah, like people at the gym, it's like, oh yeah, they're taking videos. I'm like, you guys not even sweating over there.
Yeah, exactly.
You're all drenched. You know what I mean? I could have just been like, bro, I just did one epic workout. You know what I mean? Compared to these guys. They just jump in the shower with their shirt on. You know what I mean? So, we're in a weird time. But that's why that's good that we have stuff like the podcast to really show people. It's like it's a longer form content.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think like a lot of the content today focus on that short form,
Yeah.
6 second kind of stuff.
Clip
to-
of a window into your life.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Or
But-
or like really short like funny clips too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And dude, I do know there's a place for it. I mean, I get more news on social media than I do on the news. Like by the time the news happened, you already seen it a couple times on Instagram. That in that aspect's cool. I do like a lot of humor. I like humor on Instagram because I like to laugh and that kind of stuff is entertaining to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it can get like our my work at the cancer center, they got a Wi-Fi blocker in the bathrooms because people would take a shit for like 40 minutes because they're on their phone. You know what I mean?
Just jam it
Yeah,
on TikTok. Huh?
But yeah,
That's
there's
funny.
there's a place for it, and I understand there it's way for people to connect. It's cool like to connect with people you haven't seen for a long time, like maybe high school friends or something like that, and it's cool to document some portions of your life, and but like you said, it's not real. It's cool to have a podcast. Then you have like I said, a one-on-one conversation, and you get to know the person you're talking to, and people get to know you, and that's real. That's more real than like the minute clip you see on Instagram or
The fuckers that are taking pictures of each other at Lani Kai Beach.
yeah, exactly.
Not even jump in the water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's sad. Like you're on one of the nicest beaches on earth. And you're too busy showing people that you're on the nicest beach on earth versus enjoying it. It's kind of sad.
Yep.
It's fun for us. We're drinking beers, watching girls take pictures in bikinis, but
Kick them in the water. I want to switch topics a little bit.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I want to go to Artist Groove Network. 'Cause
okay.
You do promoting for that. You're the founder of it. So
Well, I had somebody who founded it, and then I got brought on,
okay.
and then they gave the company to me, and then I built it from there.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So shout out to Ronnie. It was Ronnie Yurong, who was one of the first boy bands in Hawaii. He was New Generation and Bad Boys Club.
Oh,
back in-
really?
yeah. And he was my mentor. He owns
New Generation,
he
man.
owns
That's
ERS, Environmental Roofing Solutions.
Oh,
So you see him on TV, and then it was him, my best friend from little kid time, Frank Pereira, and then this guy Peter Lanting and Greg. That was the original Artist Group Network, and then they brought me on to help promote. So that was for me. That was the best time of promoting. I was the kid that could meet girls and get them drinks and get them hooked up in the club, and I had to do it with zero business aspect. That was fun. That was the best part. Yeah, and then from then, as the years grew, Ronnie got into different things, and he gave me the company. This was maybe about 10 years ago, and then I just grew it from there. And yeah, it's been a fun journey, and I always talk to this with Hoppas. Our lives are different. We're unique in where we've experienced things that most people don't. And we got to do a lot of concerts. We did a lot of events. We met a lot of people, and to create something out of nothing and have a bunch of people come and enjoy themselves is cool. And I always say we probably, because of our events, had people hook up, and we have a whole slew of kids that were made because of our events. In the nightclub, you hook up with girls, and next thing you know, they have kids, and it's. I always say we have.
that's where you went.
Because of Artist Group Network, there's a lot of kids that were born in Hawaii.
Artist Group Network, making babies.
Yeah,
everything.
exactly. Or it could be the other way around. They probably had a lot of divorces and breakups because of our events.
Oh man, we won't talk about that side.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, I think like promoting itself is such a, it's an interesting whatchamacall, like it's an interesting job because a lot of it is late night.
Yeah.
And you really got to connect with a lot of these clubs that you don't even know. Like we were just talking about how a lot of the clubs have shut down.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't even know like how long the lifespan of that club's gonna last.
Yep. And it plays its course. I mean, we could build a club up for a while, and then of course people get bored with it, and that's human nature.
Mm-hmm.
As a promoter, it's cool because I'm not tied into the club. I don't own it. So if it starts to fall off and it becomes
Teeters out.
then another club will want us to promote their event, and then we'll go there. And yeah, it's cool to have that aspect and not have the financial obligation to be stuck in that spot all the time. Yeah.
How do you get connected with a lot of the the club the clubs, and how do you network with the
Well, for us,
events?
our artist group's been around for a long time. So when there's a new club opening, not to brag or anything, but the owners want us there because they know we can bring the people. And there's times where their clubs would be like, oh, we're brand new, we don't need promoters or whatever, and then eventually they're like, oh, we got to get somebody in here to help. And there's a bunch of promotion companies before, and I learned that the competition was always fun. And with other promoters, it was always cool. Like, we'd go to their events and they would come to our events. And it was like podcasting was a cool community. We'd be in competition, and obviously you want all their people to come to our event, but it's the same. They want our people to go to their event. But in Hawaii, it was like, bro, you could go to 5 different clubs in one night and every club would be raging and it'd be fun. But yeah, it came to the point where clubs would seek us out, and fortunately it was okay. And I would always want to try and do a performance-based kind of salary, where it's, okay, what are you guys doing now? And then we'll show you what we can do, and then we can do sliding scales, and so we'll earn what we get. And it became to where Artist Group Network was known in the club industry to where, we need those guys at our club. And fortunately it worked out. I mean, we had a couple situations where it didn't work out, but for the most part, like, we'd rage, and we did all the big clubs in Hawaii. We've done them all, and we're successful, I would say 80% of them. Yeah.
There's like other ones like Level H.
Yeah, so we're I'm super close with I'm actually his best man. We're going to Vegas next month for his bachelor party, and I'm his best man at his wedding. So Hansen owns Level H, and we collaborated maybe the last 8 years. So every promotion we do it with them. So it's always Artist Group Network, Level H. There's Golden Child, which is Ryan Wong, and he promotes with us at District. But we worked with Furious Styles, this guy Brian Simpson, and we did Oceans. Yeah, we did Oceans with him for like 4 years. Him and Level H, and it was crazy parties. So
Oceans was bumping.
Yeah, that was one of, like, I was married at that time so it kind of made me be good when I was there, which is probably good. But it was situations where we could collaborate with different promotion companies, and shoot, it ended up we becoming family. Like, me and Hansen are so close. Like, I met him. He was the GM at O Lounge, and the night I met him he was kicking us out of O Lounge because the owner didn't like Ronnie at the time, who owned Artist Group Network. So his job was to kick us out of O Lounge, and now I'm his best man at his wedding.
Wow. How the tables turn.
Yeah.
Shout out to Hansen.
Yeah, shout out to Hansen, right? He's a good dude, right? He definitely taught me a lot in the industry of how to do things with honor and integrity. And he also taught me how it was to be a parent in this industry, because that's not easy on your kids to navigate that to where you can be a good parent and also be a good promoter. And kids don't give a rip if you sell 20 bottles or sell out the nightclub. They just want to see daddy at home. So it becomes a good way to balance. That Hansen did teach me a lot. So fortunately, he had a kid before I did. So he could learn. And he was definitely a good role model for me in that aspect.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that because, like, of course, your daughter was much younger
Yeah.
when you went into Artist Group Network. So
But she wasn't even born. I met her mom at one of our events.
oh
Yeah, so
wow.
I'm one of those people. Now that I think about it,
Oh,
I have
he
a kid.
he was creating the culture before
Yeah.
it became the
Yeah.
culture.
But yeah, so it was like, yeah, it's definitely something interesting, bro.
What does she think about that? Like
My daughter?
Yeah. What?
She don't know. She don't care.
She's gonna watch this later.
Yeah, she. Oh, daddy's gonna go to work. That's all she knows. She doesn't know
Uh-huh.
I'm like raging out these nightclubs. But watch when she's. Hopefully, I'm not still doing it when she can go. But she's gonna eventually wanna be in those places, and
You could be at the same place.
yeah, I better not, bruh. I told myself if my daughter shows up to my event, I'm too old to be doing this. Yeah,
You guys gonna be raging out together?
yeah, that can't happen.
No, that yeah.
I already told her she was born 86 from every club on earth.
Yeah, when that happens, yeah, you gotta retire.
Yeah,
after that.
yeah. But she doesn't understand. But
Mm-hmm.
I always think like, watch when she gonna like go to these clubs, then she's gonna understand what I used to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and everything runs its course. Like nobody's gonna want to talk to the old dude at the club, and it's gonna be a lot harder for me to get 21-year-olds into the club because I'm gonna be the creepy uncle. You know what I mean? And yeah,
Well, just color your hair. Just keep
Yeah.
coloring your hair.
hopefully, bruh.
You definitely don't look old.
I try not to.
You don't. You don't look at old at all. But nah. I mean that's actually a good point because like staying relevant to being
Yeah.
a club promoter as you get older.
Yeah.
And then trying to tell people like, hey, hit me up for guest list, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Bottle service, you know what I mean? And it's like a 60-year-old guy. is
Yeah,
telling that,
we would go to UH and pass out flyers and stuff like that. I
Oh,
just can't
okay.
see myself doing that at an old age. Like, oh yeah, that uncle over there trying to get me to go to his
We
club.
get grams,
Yeah.
and
Next thing you know, I'm gonna be on the kind always most wanted. This pervert over here cheating on these college girls.
DJ Hopper Boy.
Yeah.
DJ Hopper Boy is gonna change his name to DJ Grams over there.
He should actually just change his name to DJ Hopper. He's killing it, bruh. Yeah.
DJ Hops.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about that industry because it's a young man's industry.
Yeah, it is, and it's definitely a lifestyle, and it's a lifestyle I had to adapt throughout the years, especially being a single dad and making sure I'm there for my daughter and saying no when I have to the night industry. Because I could promote every night. I could promote more nights if I wanted to, and it's like I could do that, or I could have quality time with my daughter, and my daughter will trump that every time. Yeah, she goes to her mom on Fridays, and that's the night I promote. Yeah,
And she'll remember that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Growing up, because she'll be like, hey, my dad was with me
yeah,
when he could have been raging out every night.
exactly. Yeah, and it's something where I would get up for, like, oh, yup, I'm young, I'm single, like, oh, I'm gonna go to the club and like meet all these girls, and it can get to your head, and that's why like for me having employees was hard, because that kind of power or being that popular can get to people's head, and right, and of course there's always the drug aspect. So to navigate through that and get employees under me that it won't get to their head and they're not going to rage out on drugs was hard, bro. I had to fire choke people, and it's like it's something that not anybody can do, and it takes a unique individual, and especially how I do business and how Hanson does business, we keep it with integrity and transparency, and we
Intention.
yeah, and we keep that shadiness away, and it may have hurt us a lot of times, but at the end of the day, I'm proud of what we've done, and yeah, it's something that no one can ever say, like, oh, Thad's shady, or Thad did shady business. It's oh yeah, they did everything, and they were all open and honest and had integrity, and especially in this industry, it's rare. It's hard to find. Yep.
And it keeps it sustainable, like especially the business relations, because people are gonna remember that and they're gonna go like, "Hey, Thad was very honorable.
Yeah,
He's not
exactly.
like full on raging out, but
Yeah.
he's honorable with his word,
Yeah.
and that's what they respect.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
Granted, we did crazy stuff before, and like
all of us.
yeah, yeah, and you learn from it. I mean, my first event was at the W Hotel.
Wow.
And this is when I was working for
okay.
Ronnie them, and of course I'm trying to get these 19-year-old hot girls in, and I got caught getting underage girls in, and I had to swallow humble pride. I had to talk to the general manager and apologize, and I learned a lot from that, and how that general manager treated me. Like, he was pissed. Like, he was. When I got caught, I thought he was gonna lick me, bro. And I was so ashamed, and I was embarrassed, and it was just a bad situation, and I apologized. I wrote him a letter that week, and he suspended me. To a good aspect of that story is when he suspended me, the club that week didn't do as well. So I like to say, "Oh, yup, you kicked me out. You know what he would come." But
the numbers went down.
Yeah, it was just a lucky coincidence. But he wanted me back, and he said, "Okay, I learned my lesson. You can come back." And I remember I wrote him a letter prior to that apologizing. I wrote a letter to the head of security apologizing, and then I remember walking into the W on my first night back, and I was so ashamed, and I was just I didn't know what to expect. And the owner, his name was Joey Gottsman. He was the general manager, and Ronnie told me, "Hey, the manager like talk to you," and I'm just like, "Oh, yup, he's gonna lay into me.
He's gonna lick you."
And and then he was at the bar, and I got to the bar, and I noticed he had I drink Crown, so he had 2 Crown shots next to him.
Okay.
And he said, "I got your letter. This is in the past. Don't ever bring it up. We're 100% good, and I respect you, and let's just move forward." And he took a shot with me, and I never wanted to let him down again after that. And that, like, I've learned a lot because of that. And yeah, I learned a lot promoting, and I meet a lot of people, and it's a very unique industry. You meet a lot of fake people, and then you meet a few solid people. Yeah.
I think because you wrote letters, I think that really brought it over the top. Like, okay,
Yeah.
you know, he means it, kind. You know what I mean?
I
'Cause,
did, and I can't lie. A lot of it was like, "Oh, now I'm fucking not gonna get to promote it and meet all these chicks. I'm gonna lose my job." But I did mean what I did mean what I said. I felt bad, and I wish I didn't do it. And freaking at the time was a girl got caught, and she ratted me out, bro. I was like, "Oh man, how are you gonna rat me out? I got you into the club."
But like I said, I think that really spoke to your integrity.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of people wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'll probably just be like, "Oh, sorry," because like they wouldn't go to the effort of even writing a letter.
Yeah.
And then like thinking about head of security, thinking about all the people involved with the.
Yeah.
They wouldn't think that.
Yeah.
So for you to think that, I think that speaks a lot about your character.
I hope so. And I, like I said, I've tried to do business with honesty, integrity, and transparency. Like if we're being trying to be poached by another club, I would tell the owners, "Hey, these guys are coming at us. Like, I'm not trying to." Like, I'll be honest. And there were opportunities where we were like dwindling down one event, and then we'd have to go to the next one, and I'd be like, "Hey, it's time for us to leave, and I just want you to know this is yeah."
We'll see you later.
But we always did it with integrity, and yeah, it's been interesting. I've definitely learned a lot in that industry, and yeah, it's wild. It's a wild industry, and it's a hard to keep a good head on your shoulders, and like I said, not let it get to your head. And I mean, I have a daughter now, and stuff, so I view things differently. But bro, when you're a young single dude and you're the man at the club, bro, it's kind of cool. But it can get to your head, and I had good mentors to keep me humble, and I think growing up in martial arts kept me humble. Like I mean, you're the baddest person in the building until someone badder comes in. You know what I mean? And I learned humbleness through that, and it kind of carried me through that industry as well.
Leaving your pride at the door.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of martial arts, so I'm not really sure if people know this, but you're a 3rd-degree black belt in Taekwondo.
I could, I am, but I haven't been practicing for a while. I'll hit bag and stuff like that, but I did earn it. Back in the day, at a Taekwondo school in Kaneohe. Yeah.
What got you into Taekwondo?
Being bullied. I would get bullied. I'm a small dude, and people would take that as weakness. And I would wanna. I did karate at a early age when I was little.
Okay.
And then, I would say being bullied is what got me into martial arts. Like, I've always learned, like, if someone's gonna bully me, the best thing to do is fight back. Being small and I was always a smaller dude. It wouldn't always work in my favor, so I needed to develop skills. So that's what got me. And I remember I thought I was on punk. I had like this long ponytail, and I thought I was bad. I thought, I can.
I can imagine you with a ponytail.
And I remember my first sparring day. I got lit up by this little Korean kid, and I realized, and he was in high school, and I was I think I was 18.
Wow.
And bro, I understood immediately that I got a lot to learn, not only in martial arts, but in life. And it humbled me, and I've never lost that humbleness. Yeah,
that must have killed your pride.
Oh, big time. Yeah, I cut my hair.
No more ponytail.
Exactly.
They saw you next class and like, Thad learned.
Yeah,
you learned.
Exactly. And what I realized was they was testing me to see if I would come back. And I, as I became a instructor and stuff, I'd do the same thing. These young punks gonna get lickings and see if they come back, see if they get hurt, see if they got what it takes. And 9 times out of 10 they don't, but I did.
That's the thing about like martial arts, and even like a lot of like even comedians and stuff like that. I was just talking with James. He was on your show too, right?
That's a good dude, bro.
He's a good dude. But he was saying the same thing with like comedians. It's like he says like the real stand-up comedians will bomb maybe like once or twice, but they'll still keep coming. They'll try to process it through. They'll like it'll eat at them. But they'll take the L. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing for like martial arts. It's like, you know, when you get your ass kicked, it's like, how are you gonna process that and figure it out? You know? So
it was good learning experience for me, and I had a crazy instructor, but I did learn a lot from being in that environment. I had 2 cousins that were in it with me, and learned a lot from them. And I got to compete all over, and it's fun. It's a fun situation where you get to test your skills against somebody who's been practicing to test their skills against you. It's a good it's a crazy feeling, but it's something that will stick with me forever, and it's something I can say I did.
What is like some defenses for Taekwondo? Because like I've seen like a bunch of like flashy shit, you know what I mean? And like people just fucking knocking guys out.
To me, I would ask this question when I first started, and my cousin would tell me the simplest thing: the best defense is don't be there when the thing is coming, and move out the way. And Taekwondo is predominantly a kicking martial art, so it's hard to get away from kicks because they're farther, and you block with your arms and stuff. Like, bro, your arm's gonna hurt because kicks are solid. So for us, it became where you don't want to be there when the technique is coming, or it would be a situation where you could utilize their momentum against them and counter.
Oh, okay.
So blocking and stuff too is dangerous. Like, you can check stuff, and you never want to block, because in case they're faking, then you're screwed. So if say they're kicking to your body and you're trying to block it, and they
go over the top,
then you're done.
So
and you learn how to do that to your opponent as well for offense. But I would say for me, defensive techniques were always evasive. Get out the way and move. That would probably, and I was a counter fighter, so it would be a situation where I would let them attack me and kind of
Yeah.
figure out a strategy.
You let them dictate the action,
Yeah.
and then you.
Yeah.
But you're already trying to
Yeah.
play chess with them.
Or you trap them. It's
Right.
kind of like a chess match too. Taekwondo is very strategic. Like I'd bait them one way so that they'd throw a technique, and I'm spinning the opposite way to catch them. Or it was fun. It was fun, but like sometimes it didn't work out. I would get mopped. Or yeah, it was. I remember fighting this guy from Chinese Taipei in U.S. Open.
Wow.
And he was the Chinese Taipei champion.
Wow, that's crazy.
And right off the line, as soon as they started, and Taekwondo is three-minute rounds, and a head shot is 2 points, a body shot is 1 point, and of course knockout wins. But this freaking Chinese guy, as soon as they said start, I saw he jumped 10 feet in the air and punted my head. And I was just like, what the fuck was that? I was like, oh, I'm in some shit right now. And oh, yeah, that was a bad day for me, bro. Like, it was, yeah, he was good. And I remember thinking, like, okay, like, now I know where I'm at. I gotta figure it out. And yeah, I never got to fight him again, but on a side note, I watched him. So he beat me, and I watched his next 2 fights. And his semifinal match, he got knocked out.
Oh,
and
really?
I felt so happy. I was like, good for him.
Doing that
Punt
shit.
me all over the ring.
Jumping 10 feet,
Yeah.
punting me in the
Yeah.
face.
Yeah, I had fun, and it was cool. And I fought fin weight. So when we fought in tournaments, fin weights would always fight on the first day, and then the rest of the state team it would be a 3-day tournament. And then me and my cousin Lyle.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah, so we'd fight the first day, and then we'd just party the rest of the time there, and like cheer our friends on and stuff, and try hook up with the other team's girls, and yeah, I was like, get our fight out the way, then we can have fun. But yeah, I miss those trips and competing, and that feeling you get when you're about to fight is there's nothing like it, bro. It's something that you can't describe unless you go through it. And the highest high and the lowest low, you win. It's a cool feeling. You lose, and it's the worst.
Yeah. I remember sparring it because I used to take karate when I was younger too.
Oh, nice.
It's a different thing when you're doing the sparring or the kumite in the class versus the tournament.
Well, 100%.
Because like in the tournament, like my mom would be watching, right?
Yep.
But in every single tournament, I was sick. I had like a spoiled musubi or something like that. Or so I remember this one time I went to I got second place, but it was for kata.
Oh, okay.
But I had a spoiled musubi. And like I think it was a spoiled musubi because I ate it and I started having a fever, like sweats and everything, and I was like, oh crap, I gotta do this. You know what I mean? But like it was different because like everybody's watching, and sometimes it's like real quiet.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's for me that's the scariest because if it's quiet, it's like, oh shit, everybody's watching.
All eyes on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I did the sparring too, it was like when everybody it was quiet. I was like, oh fuck, like,
this is it, bro. This guy's coming at me.
the sparring, I sucked bad because I would just be like, I don't know what I'm fucking doing here. You know? Like kata, at least I could figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I just gotta remember my moves.
Yeah.
But the kata, yeah, or the kumite was like, oh shit, I don't know what I'm doing here. You know?
It was like we would call them gym champions, and it would be they're amazing at sparring in the gym, but when the lights are on and you're fighting somebody in the ring, they wouldn't show up. My cousin Lao was the exact opposite. Like he would spar okay and stuff like that, but when he was in the ring, it was like a brand new person, and he would just do things I've never seen him done. He would mop dudes I would never think he could mop, and it was just crazy, like
a light switch.
Yeah, and some people have that ability, some people don't. It's when the lights are bright and everything's on the line. It's like
he's gym shy instead of
and then like what does Mike Tyson say? Is everybody has a game plan to get get hit.
Punch in the face.
Yeah, and then it becomes a situation where, okay, now what do you do? And you can either do what you learned and adapt, or like, just get caught in the moment and don't produce what you normally would do in the gym.
Yeah. I know. I've been thinking. Was that Kali Eskrima?
Oh yeah, I've seen you guys doing that.
So
Yeah.
I've been doing that for over a year. Shout out to Sifu Nate. He's in Japan now, so I took classes from him.
Oh, that's intense training though. Huh?
Yeah, it was pretty, because it was me and someone else.
Oh, okay.
And it was just like that. But then he would work with us, just us two, just doing Kali Eskrima. But then like I've been learning other styles now. But it's it's different like with the sparring too, because we didn't have like protective stuff. So like if you got hit, you get you get hit.
You're sparring with that's nuts,
like no
bro.
pads, nothing, bro.
Oh, that'll teach you to move though.
I think one time I got hit in the eye. It was pretty nuts. Like I just got bang right in the eye. Actually, I think that was me, because I was trying to do something. I was trying to do a block, and then I got hit in the eye. But it teaches you, because it teaches you control, right?
Yeah.
But like I would say, like for the sparring part, it's like, oh shit, like this, like I seen guys that do it, in the Philippines and stuff like that, and they just whack the shit out of guys. Like they don't even and the thing is, it's like some of the techniques you learn, a lot of it is like it goes out the door. So I try to like do it to where it becomes natural.
Yeah.
When I'm doing like a block or something, that it's like, okay, something I learned, like a technique I learned, and I actually can do it in an actual fight. Because like for the guys that do it in the Philippines, and they all they're doing is just whacking the shit out of each other, I'm just like, there's no technique to that.
It's not even a martial art. They're just
martial arts,
catching a beat down.
So now like I've been trying to learn that more.
Oh, that's cool. It's like you said, it becomes muscle memory after doing something repetitive for so long. It becomes second nature. It's like I always use this for an example. What I would tell the kids, you would have to do something repetitious 41 times for it to be a habit. And I always had the habit of not putting my seatbelt on. So I would always consciously do it, and I counted. And after the 41th time, now I jump in my car. It's automatic. Like it's the first thing I do. It becomes a habit. And that's what I would tell my students when I would help teach classes, to learn muscle memory and develop good habits. Because they always say what practice makes perfect, but that's not really correct. It's perfect practice makes perfect. You can practice something a million times the wrong way, and then now you screwed. But if you do it correctly and practice that correctly, then it becomes a good habit. But Escrima's nuts, bro. There's no way around not getting hit with a stick if you're sparring, bro.
There's no if you're not using, like I talk to other people, they're like, oh, we use like hockey masks. Like, you guys use pads? Like I was just telling them, I was like, holy shit, you guys are like covered up. Like we're not. It's just me and my shoes. I got like
nuts,
shoes,
bro. If I did a Eskrima, I'd have a Nerf suit, bro. That's nuts.
And we use the wooden one, because like a lot of them use the rubber.
Oh yeah, I seen they used to use
or the foam or whatever. Yeah,
it's like those plastic tubes that they would put in the golf bags.
Oh yeah.
Oh, even that would hurt, bro.
That would hurt too.
Yeah. My dad did Kempo, and he was telling me about his, like back in the day, Palama settlement, and he used to fight and kickboxing. And it's like the stuff they did for training would be illegal now. Like, bro, your sensei would go to prison if you did that now. I was like, bro, that's nuts. It's crazy.
Yeah. Guys are I mean, it is crazy. Actually, after I talked to those guys, like, oh, we use padding, I was like, oh, you know what, maybe I should use padding. So I was gonna buy a set. I was like, okay, but I don't have people to spar with, so I don't, because like our class kind of finished. It's like, oh, I don't really know who to like actually spar with.
That's who's gonna sign up to scrap with sticks, man?
Yeah, someone who didn't. Yeah, who scrapped without pads.
Exactly. Yeah, this guy's nuts, bro.
No fear.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily, I didn't have like too many bad injuries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just got like some sores and stuff like that, but it's not like it's not like, oh, I get bruises. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And you learn a lot of evading. So
Bruh, for real. You
Yeah.
got to, bruh. You get hit with a stick. That'll teach you to not be there when they swinging them.
yeah. Man, that's crazy. So I mean, so yeah, you haven't practiced taekwondo now. Do you think you would ever do it in the future? Like maybe teach more? Or?
I've recently watched Taekwondo and it evolved into something where I'm not really fond of. It became more of a glorified foot tag because it's an Olympic sport now.
Okay.
And the way they score is they have sensors on what they call a hogu and chest protector
interesting.
and headgear.
Uh-huh.
So if you touch the sensor, it scores a point. So it became more of a watered down version of what we used to do.
Point fighting.
Yeah. What we used to do to score a point, there were 3 judges, and 2 out of 3 judges had to they had like these clickers, had to score a point within 1 second. And what would score was what they called a trembling shock. So you would have to land a technique on your opponent with a trembling shock for it to count, head or body.
Interesting.
So now if you watch Taekwondo, it's kind of lame, for lack of a better word, and that's my opinion. And I'm like, it seems more of a game and a sport versus a fight from what I was used to.
Yeah.
And I used to do kickboxing and stuff too, so I had more of that kind of mentality in Taekwondo where I'm trying to knock this fucker out versus oh, I'm gonna get a point and touch his hogu with my foot.
Sensor,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
And their kicks are geared towards scoring a point versus taking somebody out, which is unfortunate because if you're a kid and you learning Taekwondo for self-defense, those techniques are gonna get you fucked up in a real life situation.
Because they're gonna hold back.
Yeah,
You know
you're
what I mean?
gonna try and tag someone's stomach on the street, and this guy's trying to pound you out. Like, it's not gonna
Take you
work.
down, ground and pound after.
Yeah. So it's kind of unfortunate direction that Taekwondo went in, and it could be just back in my day we did this, but in my opinion, it's not as a martial art as it used to be versus a sport it is now. And granted, you can knock people out in Taekwondo, but I do watch like the Olympics and the World Cup and I watch online and stuff, and it's definitely a weirder version of Taekwondo than what I was grew up doing. Yeah, it's disappointing, and I talk about it with my friends and stuff like, oh, that's so lame now. But, like, I'd be ashamed to tell people that I did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I remember talking with Ensign Inoue.
Oh, okay.
And we were talking about him in his career, like when in his prime, he was like, you know, a lot of those guys were like fight to the death kind of guys.
Oh, bro, his
I
brother.
mean,
Oh yeah, Ensign. Yeah, both of them. Yeah.
They would just go for broke, right? But then you look at like the guys today, like some of them, you know, you see like the Volkanovskis, right?
Yeah.
Who really put in like, I'm here to like fuck this guy up. You know what I mean? But then you see some fighters that just kind of coast by too. You know what I mean? They go for the points and stuff like that. So it's like that. I guess that evolution of the sport too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's understandable, but like with Taekwondo, it was something that I always thought I could use in a self-defense situation. And I don't know if they're what's being taught now, but from what I see in the sport, that wouldn't hold up in a self-defense situation. And I'm not saying like Taekwondo players can't self-defend, but if you're gonna do what they're doing in those situations, bro, they're especially for kids, it's gonna give them a false sense of security. Yeah,
because like if their mentality is they're gonna go into it thinking this is something I can use in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When there's a fucking big kid, maybe 5'5". I'm just saying like 5'5" is tall for those kind of kids, but like, you know, this kid's coming up to me thinking I can just fucking spinning back kick this guy.
Yeah.
But if they don't put enough power, they're not really trying to drive through the guy.
Yeah.
Then it's just gonna look like, it's just gonna bounce off, and they're gonna break their leg just kicking him. So
Yeah. I seen a video actually today.
uh-huh.
I seen this kickboxer fight this Chinese seafood dude. And the Chinese guy was like doing all his like, and the kickboxers went up to him and just rammed him, like just whacked him, and the seafood knocked out. And I'm thinking like, how come I never got to fight somebody like that? Where was that guy when I was fighting Chinese Taipei?
You're still winding up. Like you're still like, hey, wait, I'm not done yet. Let me absorb this chakra real quick.
But yeah, I guess it becomes a situation where you gotta do something that's effective in a real life situation, or martial arts is useless. Like if you can't defend yourself in a real life situation, then
what's the point?
Yeah, you're just doing a workout, Taibo or whatever.
Taibo.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I know some people that like martial arts for just the art itself.
Yeah,
which
and
is
it's
fine.
a good discipline. It
is
does
a good
create
discipline.
create your mind to overcome boundaries that you physically can't do. Like I was telling my friend this because I recently shout out to Tattoo Bong. He challenged everybody to do 100 burpees every morning. So I wake up and I'm not gonna say every morning.
Nuts.
I'll do it Monday through Friday. 100 burpees as soon as I wake up. Yeah, and it is rough, brah. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It says training. It's the closest thing I've done in a long time to training, but not the physical part. Cause I can get through physicality, but it's mentally. Like I've never tested my mental strength like that in a long time. So like this morning I was just like, bro, I don't want to do this, and then I'm thinking like, okay, this is the day I really got to do it because I don't want to. And martial arts taught me that to mentally overcome physical inabilities, because that's how you become strong mentally, and then eventually your physicalness will kick in. But
that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, martial arts teaches you mental discipline, and that's to me is pretty valuable. Yeah,
that's freaking 500 burpees in 1
bruh,
week.
exactly. It's brutal, dude.
That's brutal.
Like, bruh, you should have seen when I first started, bruh. I do 5 and like, okay, wait, gotta take a break. Take me like 30 minutes to get through it. I'm just like, dying, soaking wet. But and I see my friend Bong do it on Instagram, and because of him doing it and showing it motivated me, and it it's been a struggle, and I'm consistent. I think I missed 2 days in the last maybe 5 months because I was sick, and other than that, Monday through Friday I'll wake up and do it, and it's been rough, bro.
But I mean, that creates that discipline and really,
and it's a cool way to start the day. I'm physical and I'm already in a good mood because I did it. Yeah. But it's rough, bro.
That's rough.
Yeah. And I do the prison style kind, like all the way down, jump up, and yeah.
That's the burpees I do too.
Yeah, it's not. So that shit ain't easy, bro.
Like some guys, they don't go all the way down. They don't do that. But I gotta for me, I gotta discipline myself.
Yeah,
like,
it's hard,
that's the
bro.
real way to do it.
And it. My daughter sees me doing it too, so she knows that like I'm mentally getting through something. It kind of shows by example. So hopefully, I mean, maybe not now, but like maybe eventually it'll click in her head. Like, my dad, like he's about it. You know what I mean?
She's
like,
gonna do 100 burpees a day.
I've been trying to get her to do it because she's telling me she wants to work out for volleyball. I'm telling you, just do burpees with me in the morning, bro. It'll change your life. And she's like, no way.
That would change.
Yeah,
Man. That would make her like a freaking crazy player at volleyball.
And bro, that exercise is rough, bro.
Oh yeah, because that'll really work her legs too. That'd be good. That's a good workout.
Yeah, it's full body, and I did a little bit of research, like versus running and stuff like that. It's way better. Like you're using more muscles, and your cardiovascular is firing. So it's like a good way to start the day off. I do that, take a shower, and go to work. I'm already like
ready to go.
Yeah, ready vibing in a good way. Yeah.
All right, so just to wrap some stuff up, I actually have a couple more questions.
Oh
So
yeah,
like,
whatever, bro.
so the first one is like for the entertainment industry because you've been like a part of it, podcasting, but also Artist Groove Network. Where do you think the entertainment industry is heading in Hawaii?
In Hawaii, I do know comedy is kind of getting big.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Tamua and James
Mm-hmm.
Mane. Like James is like to see his career. I had him
Mm-hmm.
on my show and he was kind of just getting discovered. Now he's
Mm-hmm.
selling out Blue Note
Yeah.
and I think comedy is going in a good direction. Music, I think music is going in a good direction, being that these local artists don't really need a label. You
Mm.
can make music just like podcasting. You can do it at your own house
Yeah.
and release it on the internet. And now you're your own creator and owner of what you do, and
Mm-hmm.
you can get your own marketing and media that way. That way social media is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
I,
because like Spotify and stuff
yeah,
has really opened it up.
yeah, and the shows that are being put on by like Ray Jr. and
Mm-hmm.
Lele from Hawaii's Finest and
Mm-hmm.
is giving these opportunities to local artists to be seen and put on shows. I think in that aspect the entertainment industry is good, bros. It's getting better than it has been for a while,
Mm.
and a lot of live music is being shown. Like Mai Tais get live music again.
Yeah.
Moani's does live
About
music.
time. Yeah, Moani's. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
it's where it's fun to be around. Always love live music.
Mm.
Club wise is like I said, it's rough because there's only one club in Hawaii, and the want isn't needed as much as it was before. Like I
Mhm.
said, you don't need to go out to meet girls and do that kind of stuff. It's different.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea how it's gonna be, and I've noticed like the fun the younger generation has now is, in my opinion, not as fun as the stuff that we used to do.
Yeah. Mhm.
And
Yeah,
so
definitely.
entertainment in club industry, I have no idea how that's gonna go. It could
Mm.
circle. I mean, everything goes in circles, and
Mhm.
it could be the new fun thing again. But yeah, I'm that one I really couldn't answer because I wouldn't have guessed it would be what it is now.
Mm.
And I mean, the pandemic kind of made it take a hit as well. And yeah, I don't know. People learn to meet people and do things outside of the club, and
Mhm.
I don't know. It could spawn something new. I always wanted to do a event with like everybody gotta leave their cell phones in the car. They cannot bring their cell phones into the.
Mm. Oh, that'd be cool.
It'd be cool, but then we're thinking like, oh, what if nobody comes because of that?
But it's exclusive, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because like nobody knows what's going on
Yeah,
inside.
yeah. And then it's yeah. So that aspect I couldn't answer. I would be hopeful that it would turn around just so that this younger generation can enjoy that aspect of being a young adult.
Mhm.
Because when you're 21, that's all you would talk about. Oh, I get to go to the club
Yep.
now. I get to do this.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's we'll
Yeah,
see,
that
man.
that was the social networks
Yeah,
over there at
yep.
the clubs.
But yeah, entertainment wise, like musically, I think is in a good direction. Comedy is in Hawaii, especially is changing. I mean, back in the day, I had Andy Bumatai, Augie,
Mhm.
and like who else was there? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
And Frank DeLima.
locally, yeah, Frank
Mhm.
DeLima.
Mhm.
And now it's these and that aspect of social media is getting these guys discovered, where they get
Mm.
a following on social media, and then now they want to see their show, and now they gotta produce it during their show, and a
Yeah.
lot of these guys are killing it. Like,
Yeah,
I had Kitty Pine on my show, and she's a
wow.
transgender comedian from
Yeah.
Hawaii, and
He's funny, bro.
bro, she had me dying. Like the stuff she says is so funny, and
Uh,
it's like a lot of talent out there,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's cool to see what can happen.
Mhm.
And one thing good about the internet and social media is everybody's accessible at any time, and
Mhm.
good or bad, but it could get people discovered. It could get people to learn stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like I said, if used correctly, it's a great tool and great opportunity for artists trying to get their stuff out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like at least there's some venues that still kind of, or newer ones. Oh, there's like Dave and Buster's, for instance, right?
Yeah.
Still pumping Wednesday nights.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Warehouse, I forgot what it's called, but it's kind of I don't know which area that is, but they have like concerts and stuff
Oh,
over
like
there.
by Kehi Lagoon, I think it is.
Yeah.
They
Forgot
do
what
a
it's
lot of
called.
rap shows and stuff over
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
It's a tidy, it's a very
Yeah.
tidy little place.
Yeah. I
actually.
haven't been, but I've seen videos. Yeah.
It's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
But they got stuff like that. But yeah, like the district, there's no real consistent
Yeah.
stuff for like clubs and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
But district's been fun, and
Yeah.
it packs Friday, Saturday. It packs, and fortunately, that's the venue we're at on Friday. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So for yourself, what's next for you? I mean, like we could talk about the podcast where you want it to go later on, and or even for your promotion.
Well, for me, the podcast, I feel like I'm not even scratching the surface of the potential,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like I should be able to put more work into it. And I'm learning how to edit better. I'm learning
Mhm.
different tricks. I'm learning things to say, not to say. I'm learning, and then it's growing, and it's growing in a speed that I'm happy with.
Mm-hmm.
It's not overwhelming me, and it's not growing too slow.
Mm.
So I think trajectory, I'm in a good spot. For the future, I mean, the sky's the limit. Like
Yeah.
I have no idea where it could go. Like I'll have dreams and goals. I do want to do like what you're doing in person.
Yeah.
That's one of my goals, and
Mm-hmm.
I do want to do something like what they had back in the day with Mike Perry, and they would have the
Oh.
Hano Hano room
Mhm.
and do a live show with breakfast and something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's something I would always want to do, maybe
Oh,
once a
cool.
year or something. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, who knows? I do want to get more mainstream guests on. Like, I want to get like bigger names, like not just Hawaii people. Like
Yeah.
my goal, and I'm always knocking on wood, which one day I hope happen. I'm a big Metallica fan,
Oh.
and
Wow.
the lead guitarist lives in Oahu, in
Really?
Hawaii Kai, Kirk Hammett.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one of my dream goals would be having him on my show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll check this out and then he'll
Hey,
hit you
who
up after,
knows,
you know?
bro? He'd be like, oh, hit me up. I got a message from Kirk Hammett. But yeah, I would want to get more mainstream guests on and have cool conversations with them. And yeah, the podcast for me was more of a thing to gratify myself,
Mm.
but it's growing, and now I'm getting different goals for it. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I would want to see in the future maybe getting more popular off of the island, like more mainland people that aren't tied into Hawaii starting to check it out. That would be probably one of my goals.
Mm-hmm.
And then club wise and with Artist Groove, I'll probably cycle out of the clubs. It's not as fun being that I'm older and I have a daughter and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I would want to do more. We did concerts in the past. I would want to do more shows, maybe like
Mhm.
one-offs or stuff like that.
Yeah.
I want to stay relevant, and I do want to continue to do events,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe just not a weekly event. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, well, I'll always do something with it, and
Mm-hmm.
there's always a want for me to do a kid event. I mean,
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Interesting.
honestly, there's a lot of money in kid events because parents will do whatever it takes for their kids to be happy.
Yeah.
That's why Disneyland and Disney World are making
Uh-huh.
billions of dollars,
Mhm.
because parents will spend whatever for their kids. And
Mhm.
if I could put something together to where event where kids could do something would be cool for me. And
Yeah.
that would be one of my goals, I guess, for Artist Groove. And watching DJ Hoppa Boys progress his DJ career is something that I would want to see, and that's one of my goals, or one of my goals for him to do, because that kid got so much talent. He has so much ambition and drive and accountability. He holds me accountable as much as I hold him accountable. But he's good. He's a good fucking DJ. Like I seen him kill San Francisco clubs. I seen him kill like clubs in Vegas. Like he's good, and he has that opportunity to be
to rise. Yeah,
and
higher,
if he could be one of the top DJs in the country, that would be one of my goals, if I could help him get there, or just be a fan of watching him get there. That would be something that I could say I brought him into this industry, and this is where he's at, and he did good for what he's doing. And bro, that kid got all the potential, and he's meeting it. He's meeting his potential with his work. He ain't afraid to work, and that would probably be one of my goals.
Yeah, definitely.
Watching him be on a national level, big time. Yep.
We do a kid event over there where he's performing, right?
Yeah.
That's why like Chuck E. Cheese, they got the they serve alcohol now.
Oh yeah.
So little kids go and play
The dads can drink.
The dads go drink.
Yep. Well, they do that so that the so when the kids ask the dads for money, they'll be like, yeah, here go. So it's a money grab for the Chuck E. Cheese industry. Get the dads drunk so they're more willing.
See the managers in the back, like, hey, we're gonna be the best store ever. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, Thad, thank you for coming on the show, man. This was huge for me, man.
Me too, bro. And you're somebody I looked up to, and watching what you do is something I try to emulate, and how you do it is, like you said, with integrity and just consistency, and that's, to me, is always what works. And yeah, it's been an honor to be on your show and to be in here in person with you, and I'm learning a lot just from your setup and how you're doing things. And like I said, it's something that we all can develop with each other. And bro, so anything you need from me, I'm about it. So I'll help you any way I can, and I'll ask you questions if I have any. And
of course,
we definitely gotta do this again, and I definitely want you to come on my show. But out of respect, I knew I wanted to come on your show first and do your thing, and then maybe in the future come on mine after. Yeah,
of course,
sure. That'd be cool.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming here. This is a huge honor for me, because like I always wanted you to come on the show.
Right
so
on,
I just had to figure out a.
Yup, I only live down the street too, bro.
Shouts to Kanye.
Shout out to Kanye. Oh, I like to say sorry for all the rain, bro. I know it's my fault, because 2 weeks ago I washed my truck and got it detailed. And ever since then, it's been raining, bro. I know it's my fault.
It's the 49ers, bro. That's why the rain.
God is still sad that they lost, huh? Fuck, bro.
They got cheated from the Eagles. That's
I feel like we didn't lose that game. The universe won. Like the universe beat us.
That was
Yeah, that was brutal.
That was brutal. I gotta admit.
Yeah, I'm still not happy about that.
That was a DJ Hubba Boy is an Eagles fan too.
Dude, how's this, bro? So I watched the 49ers. I have like this little hui that we go to Kailua's shack and watch all the games. So Hoppa, I invite him to come watch the game. He don't like come. Bruh, 3 minutes left. Guess who shows up at the shack? In his jersey, fucking all happy. I was like, bro, what if we was winning? He wouldn't show up, bro. I was like, oh, man.
He was camping out outside. He was watching the game. He's like, oh, I'm going to just show up watch.
Yeah, freaking guy. But yeah, it was a fun season, and like that's my team, and yeah, hopefully that's my famous saying, bro. I always get next year.
Well, I'm a Steelers fan.
Oh, so okay. You guys in a rebuild, huh?
Yeah. I always tell people, hey, we're gonna be undefeated, and then whenever we don't go undefeated, I go, oh, we give people a chance.
Yeah.
And then when I say we have a losing record, I go, oh yeah, we're rebuilding. We We just want better picks so we can build a dynasty.
That's
so.
the one, bro. We losing for picks.
Yeah,
yeah.
we're losing for picks. But yeah, Thad, thank you for coming on the show.
Right
and
on. Thank you, bro.
Do you want to shout out any of your IGs, like at Above the Bridge podcast?
Oh yeah, my IGs is Above the Bridge podcast on Instagram, YouTube. You can find us on YouTube, Above the Bridge podcast. The website is atbpod.com, and then mine is Thaddy Daddy High.
And then Artist Groove Network too.
AGN has their Instagram, but I usually do all our club promotions on my personal Instagram.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we're at District on Fridays. If you ever want to come out, just DM me, Thaddy Daddy High, and I'll put you on a guest list for sure.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
I'll leave some of the links as well on the bottom.
Okay,
as well,
cool. Yeah.
Guaranteed. But yeah, that before we go, we gotta do a Kampai. So could you grab the bottle real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we'll take another shot.
All right.
And then so people know at the end of the show we always do a Kampai, just a cheers, because this whole show is a celebration of like the guest as well as me coming back to podcasting because after my break. So because some people thought, oh, he's not gonna come back, but I'm back. So and I'm with Thad, who's also a podcaster. So Thad,
All right.
this is to you. This is to your future as a podcaster. Kid events when they happen, you know what I mean? Beer and carnival games.
Yo.
But yeah, Kampai.
Right on. Kampai, bro. Mahalos for having me. I appreciate it, bro.
Of course. Anytime you want to come back on.
Right on.